Big mighty God did it again. You woke up on the right side of the dirt, so let's give God a praise. This is John Lakin and Friends. What's up, everybody? This is your boy, John Lakin, and welcome to John Lakin and Friends. Praise the Lord, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to John Lakin and Friends. We're so excited that you decided to join in with us today. Of course, May is the month of mental health awareness, so we're going to lift up a song that is a beautiful prayer that says, Lord, I want you to help.
All night. I said, Lord, 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 I need you to help me. Hey, I said, I can't make it without you, Father. I want you to help me. Keep on leaning on your everlasting. Don't you know that I'm falling on? Stay right there, said I'm falling on. Stay right there, said I'm falling. Right now, calling you Jesus. Right now, calling you Jesus. It might be morning. It might be evening. It might be late in the midnight hour. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. That's how they insult to the country. God bless you.
My name is Betty Spells Price. I'm the president and CEO of Carver Construction and Design Incorporated, a general contracting and construction management firm located in the heart of Columbia, South Carolina. Our clients include educational facilities, religious institutions, retail establishments, administrative buildings, and so much more. We specialize in creating beautiful spaces with functionality and community at the heart. As God blesses us, we bless others. Our dream is to make your dream come true. Carver is the one-stop shop for all of your construction needs.
Hi, I'm Angela Jackson, licensed therapist in Columbia, South Carolina. I wanted to let you know that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we all have experienced this collective trauma full of loss and grief and anxiety. It's important that we are aware of how these stressors are affecting our minds, our hearts, and our bodies. So how do we cope? Of course, we pray and we connect with our friends and our families. But I want you to remember that you are not in this by yourself. There is no shame in reaching out for help. Also, you are greatly loved and you matter. This is Angela Jackson with your Wellness Moment on John Lakin and Friends.
Welcome back to John Lakin and Friends. We are super excited to have a real rock star in the house. I don't know if you know it or not, but this young lady has been very, very influential in our community, not just with music, but with the creative arts, with graphic design, as well as she has her own cartoon characters that she has developed out of the soul and spirit of her mind that has touched our young people. I am here with none other than my real sister, TiffanyJ. What's going on?
Nothing much. Thank you for having me.
Man, we're so glad to have you on John Lakin and Friends.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, and let me tell you, you look so festive. I love the look.
I love color.
I like it.
Way.
I like it. And you wear it well. And these boots come to praise. My God. So first of all, let's talk about this. We know that you are an incredible singer. I mean, you sang. So let's talk about your start in music. Okay. How did you get started with singing?
Just like most people in church, you know, I am a life member of First National Baptist Church, Pastor Blakely Scott.
Yes.
But I think one thing that really just hooked me into music was seeing my mom sing every Sunday.
All right, now you know your mom is my baby. Let's talk about it. We got to shout mom out. Come on.
So just watching people flock to her afterwards was just really attractive to me.
Wow.
And you know, I wanted to one day have the same impact on people. Mm-hmm. I think as I grew older and wiser, I understood that didn't mean I had to be in the box of just church.
Yeah.
So I kind of expanded into just write music about life and still touching souls.
I love it. And so at the end of the day, you know, you realize that gospel means good news. And it's not necessarily limited to, like you said, a church sound, but you can take that sound. There's so many people who have taken that sound and touched the world. Like I think of singers that have gotten their start in church, like Fantasia.
Absolutely.
You know, or Kiki Wyatt, or different singers of that nature, who Gladys Knight, you know, Aretha Franklin. You know, they got their start in the church. And so we've seen you blossom singing in the church. We got a famous question that we ask on this show, and I hope you're prepared.
Oh, wow.
What is, and you don't answer in word, you answer in melody. Hallelujah.
Now, I ain't never seen this happen.
Oh, yeah. When I ask you the question, you're going to know. When I ask you the question, you're going to know. What is your favorite hymn?
Oh, it is well.
All right.
Okay.
I got how that go a little bit? You ain't got to do the whole thing.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul.
Oh, you don't act like you wasn't prepared for that. I know what they do at First Nazareth now. My God.
I wasn't.
Oh, my word. Tiffany, your voice is so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And so you grew up singing in church, and then you began to grow into writing songs. So let's talk about that. What was that? What is that process like for you?
So I started writing at 14, but what I try to share most of the time, I didn't start writing music until after I had a suicide attempt that failed.
My God.
And I attempted to commit suicide at 12.
Jesus.
And from that moment, I learned to express myself artistically in different ways. So songwriting was one of those ways I began to release, because I still kind of bottle things in. But back then, everything was kind of kept inside, and I just learned how to release, my inner thoughts and feelings. And songwriting was one of those healing mechanisms.
Now, of course, with this being Mental Health Awareness Month,
absolutely.
How did you begin to find light in such a dark space? Because
I didn't find it until later in life. I think I didn't find me until my 20s. I've had several suicide contemplations after that attempt at 12. But I think for me, understanding that my life is not for me, because I had to get to that point, understanding that I'm not here for me.
Come on.
I'm here to be a light for other people, to see that they can do whatever and be whatever and feel comfortable in who they are.
Jesus. And that is so beautiful for you to be so eloquent and transparent about your struggles with depression. My question to you is, what would you say to somebody out there who's currently struggling with depression or potentially contemplating something as dark as suicide? What would you say to them to encourage them to continue to go on?
First of all, it's okay to not be okay. Wow. We have to learn how to take the now moment, learn from it, and grow from it. Just because things don't necessarily go in what you feel your will should be, just understand that everything happens for a reason. And most of our life is orchestrated by how we respond and react to things, and not necessarily what happens to us.
Wow.
So when we learn how to just take life as a lesson, we can just grow through that and be better at that. And to people who are trying to assist people that are struggling, learn how to listen. We don't always have to offer advice. We don't always have to say, well, you should do this. Be somebody's listening ear, because that's a lot of times what they're lacking.
Wow, that's powerful. And I want to touch on one last thing before we go forward. You were dealing with these struggles and emotions at 12 years old.
Absolutely.
That means that it's very likely that there are children out here, or parents of children, who may be dealing with these kinds of emotions and these kinds of things.
Absolutely.
What would you say to those parents, as in how to see that something may be off with your child?
I guess not necessarily how to see, but I think as parents, and I'm not a parent, so it's always hard for me to come from this stance. However, I work with children a lot. It's okay to reward your children for things that they're supposed to be doing. A lot of times we give the praise when they overachieve and when they go above and beyond. But if you know your child struggles making the bed every day of the week, and Monday through Friday they make that bed up, you know, it's okay to say thank you for making your bed up. We don't always have to chastise. Sometimes it's okay to give praise.
Yes.
And I think it just shows children that they're seen. Because a lot of times as children, we don't feel seen in the areas we want to be seen in. So just give your children some attention.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And so let's talk about how all of these things have shown up in your incredible music. So you began writing music at the age of 14 or 15. And as you're writing your songs, when did you realize that God has given you a gift?
I don't know if I really know that moment, but it was just always healing for me. So I think by the time I transitioned into the R&B soul genre, I learned that I can say whatever I want in my music and still glorify God.
Wow.
You know, so that's my life. I'm a Christian. I'm a light.
Come on, talk about it.
So my life is transformed through my lyrics, regardless of if I'm talking about love, relationships, or whatever. And I think when people can say, because of your song, I actually had a situation, my second solo single was called Beauty You Are, and a young lady had a friend, she was like, I let her listen to your song, she was struggling with suicide or whatever, and that song just let her sit in that moment and not result in that. So things like that is what makes it great for me.
Makes it worth it, yeah. And so that is incredible. So now we have an incredible event happening this weekend. So all of this love and healing and light, if they want to experience it and experience it live, we just heard you sing a little piece of this hymn. And listen, let me tell you, this ain't no auto-tune praise. This is a real, this ain't no T-Pain praise. This is a real situation of a singer, and I've seen you time and time again bless the hearts of the people. So tell the people about your event on this weekend. So
Soulbird Sessions Live is actually my live recording for my third album. So I'll be recording that album live in concert at South Carolina ETV the 27th at 5 p.m. So it's going to be a great time. I'm doing some old songs, some new arrangements for them, and I'm introducing new music.
Let's talk about these cartoon characters that you graphically designed into our hearts. Go ahead.
So Super Beauty Incorporated is a business based off of a character I created called Super Beauty, who is a superhero, a self-declared superhero, by the way, who has powers that diminish the influence of bullies and boost self-esteem and confidence in her peers. And I launched that brand in 2018. And of all the things that I do, I feel like Super Beauty's presence is my legacy brand. And I talked a little bit about my struggles with self-esteem and depression as a child. So Super Beauty embodies who I am now personality-wise, but she has the likeness of me as a child. So yeah, we got children's books. We have a plush talking doll that says over 20 phrases that boost self-esteem.
What? Cut it out.
And Super Beauty and Handsome Hero, her twin brother, that we have dolls for both.
Awesome.
And then we have the traveling Super Beauty mascot that goes to schools and events and just, you know, loves to give hugs and dance.
And listen, first of all, tell them, where can they find Super Beauty?
I am superbeauty.com. That's where you can find her.
Come on.
I am superbeauty.com.
Come on. And so, like, I'm sure that there are a lot of schools and different people who may be watching who need that kind of positive reinforcements.
Absolutely.
With our young people. Please check it out. TiffanyJ, I mean, you are an entrepreneur. I was about to say an entrepreneur, but I'm going to call you entrepreneur because you are doing it, girl. You get your hands in everything.
I try.
I love it. I love it. And so this concert is happening on this weekend at South Carolina ETV.
Yes.
What time?
5 p.m.
And this is the 27th?
The 27th.
Saturday,
May 27th.
Don't wait till the last minute. Where can they find tickets?
I am TiffanyJ.com.
So it's a whole lot of I am. So I am TiffanyJ.
I use I am a lot. I'm glad you brought it up because it's an affirmation.
Come on.
And I firmly believe we should declare whatever we are. So I use I am a lot in my branding.
Well, listen, we have had such a wonderful time talking to you, my sister, and we're
so
proud of you. I am John Lakin, and this is John Lakin and Friends. There's so much more to come after this.
Oh, my Father is rich. Come on, church. My Father is rich in houses and land, in houses and land. He holds all in the palm of his hand. my Father is mine. If you read in the book of Philippians, my Father is rich. My Father is rich, good God Almighty. My Father is rich. He supply your every need. Yeah. My Father is rich. According to his riches. My Father is rich. Oh, my daddy, my daddy, my daddy. He rich, he rich, he rich. Look at here, let me tell you what he'll do for you. He'll open the windows of heaven and he'll pull you out of blessing. You won't have room to receive. My daddy, he rich, he rich, he rich. Whatever you need, whatever you need, God got it, God got it. Call him, call him, call him, call him. I call him Dr. G. I call him Dr. G. I call him in the morning time. I call him in the late in the evening. Call him in the midnight hour. Say it again. Come on, y'all. Everybody, come on. Say it again. Good God Almighty. Good God Almighty. My God Almighty. I know He able. You see you do it. My God is real. My God is real. Good God Almighty.
Welcome back to John Lakin and Friends, and we are here with not just my friend, but my real life professor. This young lady was very instrumental in me graduating from Benedict College. Woo! BC. You know for my BC graduates. Dr. Cindye Richburg. Cotton, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. So good to see you.
So glad to have you. And you brought with you a friend. Come on, I'm gonna let you introduce your friend.
Yes, I have Mr. Reginald Reardon,
Yes.
who's our program coordinator for mental health at the
Wow.
Brookland-Lakeview Empowerment Center.
All right, Brookland Baptist Church has a foundation, which is the Brookland-Lakeview Empowerment Center, which Lakeview was the school that Pastor went to.
That's right.
So this is incredible for him to be able to do ministry outside the four walls of the church,
Right.
even in the community
That's
here in
right.
West Columbia. So what happens at the Brookland-Lakeview Empowerment Center? Talk about it.
So lots of things happen at the Brookland-Lakeview Empowerment Center.
Yes.
We are a major community hub. We're
Okay.
a nonprofit organization. We've been around since 2008.
Wow.
And we do a lot of things to include mental health, first aid training. We have a diabetes intervention program
Wow.
where we're teaching people how to manage their diabetes and to prevent diabetes. We have after school and summer camp for young people, athletic programs, mentoring and tutoring.
Incredible.
We're a major food hub. We give out senior supplemental food boxes, diabetic boxes, produce boxes.
Wow. Wait a minute. 'Cause so the people that are watching this, we got to let them know where can they go to get these
That's
incredible initiatives. Where is the Brookland-Lakeview Empowerment Center?
The Brookland-Lakeview Empowerment Center is located at 1218 Bachelor Street.
Okay.
We're right in West Columbia. And like I said, we serve over 22,000 individuals per year.
My God.
And so we are a major resource for the community to include all these wonderful programs. We have community gardens, farmers markets.
Wow.
We have tenants that are in the building, so a small business that may be looking for office space
Wow.
can
That's
rent
wonderful.
from the BLEC.
Okay.
And so we do just a lot of different things, and we're just so happy to be in this space and to be able to provide these
Beautiful.
resources to the community.
Beautiful. Now, when you talk about a church reaching out into the community to help the community be better, that is a beautiful example. My
Exactly.
God. And so let's come to, of course, May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah.
And we are extremely excited to have Mr. Reginald Reardon with us on today. And so tell us about your background in mental health awareness and recovery.
Okay, I worked with the Department of Mental Health for 22 years in psychology,
Yeah.
as well as in patient and family education, teaching about the mental disorders and teaching families
Okay.
as well.
Okay, and so what does that look like on the home front? So if a family member is dealing with some mental health challenges, how do we realize or figure out that something is a little different or something may be happening or going on that we're not aware?
This program, we do not do treatment. What we do referrals.
Okay.
We help others to identify and recognize when they are experiencing crises and challenges in their lives. And we make referrals based on the fact that they would accept what we're training and teaching them.
Okay. And so we know that you all have worked with quite a few organizations on how to handle certain crisis situations. What are some of those organizations that you've been able to empower?
So we partner with Wright,
Yes.
and Wright and the Brookland-Lakeview Empowerment Center. We both have mental health first aid training grants.
Wonderful.
And with these particular training grants, we're able to offer adult mental health first aid, youth mental health first aid, and teen mental health first aid.
Wow.
And with these trainings, these are trainings that are free of charge. There's
Okay.
no cost involved. You take the class. It's about 7 to 8 hours of training.
Yes.
And the certification, once you complete the class, you receive a certification that's good for 3 years.
Wow.
But what's really great about the training is that it does teach you how to recognize the signs of mental illness, anxiety, depression, substance abuse, and then to be able to refer that person for help. So we're not, diagnosing anyone.
Yes.
We're just basically, trying to assist by trying to figure out what's going on and then referring the person for assistance.
And so are we seeing that there are disparages between the amount of income and the amount of treatment as it relates to the neighborhoods? So our lower income neighborhoods, they're not being diagnosed necessarily or treated necessarily because of the lack of income in that area?
Correct.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and the research really does show that it's really compelling. The lower income families,
Yes.
oftentimes when they're having a mental health crisis, they're not seeking any help. So they're going untreated because they can't afford it and it's not accessible, or they just simply don't know where to go.
Wow.
And so it is really a very serious problem. Suicide is death by suicide is third in this nation for youth between the ages of 15 and 19.
Jesus.
So that's alarming. So what we're hoping to achieve, Wright and the Brookland-Lakeview Empowerment Center, is to be able to offer the mental health first aid class. It's like a CPR class, but it's mental health.
Yes.
And if we offer this training, we get all of these people trained in Lexington County, Richland County, and we have all of these mental health first aid responders. We'll be able to recognize the signs and then be able to refer those individuals for help. That's what we're trying to achieve. It's just give them, not be diagnosed, not, be trying
not
to
to be
solve
doctor,
not to be a doctor,
but
just to say, okay, these are the signs: substance abuse, mental illness, anxiety, depression.
Yes.
And then say, okay, here's where you need to go for help.
And so for family members, for someone who may be experiencing mental health challenges, or family members who may be battling with being a support system to someone battling with mental health situations, where would you tell them to go right now?
So typically what we would say is we would send them to, there's a lot of national support numbers that they could call, National Suicide Line. There's a national mental health line, but locally there are mental health offices.
Yes.
So we would refer them to maybe the Lexington Mental Health Office or the Richland County Mental Health Office.
Wow.
There's also some of the counties have a mobile mental health unit.
Really?
So there you can call that. So if the person is having a crisis, you can call the mobile unit just like you dial 911.
Yes.
They would come out and they would do an assessment.
Wow. And see, people they're not aware of these resources that they have within the community.
Exactly.
And so I want you to take a moment, either of you. What would you say to someone who is currently battling a mental health situation and they don't know who to talk to or how to talk about it? Because, mental health can have a stigma to it. So sometimes people try to keep things like that hidden or to themselves. What would you say to them to let them know how important it is for them to reach out and get help?
Number one, based on our training, we use the 5-action plan, which is called ALGE. All right, number one, we take an approach. We need to be a good listener. We need to give advice. All right. Also, we need to encourage. We also need to encourage that person in terms of what resources that are out there in the community to help them. This is a non-linear approach, which means they can go back and forth around the clock.
That is incredible. So listen, we are so excited and so proud of you all for your contributions to the community. Again, do you have a phone number
Yes.
that the people can...
Yes, so they can contact the Brookland-Lakeview Empowerment Center at 803-744-7943. Again, that number is 803-744-7943. Brookland-Lakeview Empowerment Center.
Y'all, that's my professor, Dr. Richburg Cotton, and Mr. Reggie Reardon, who is also a Benedict alum.
Along with your pastor.
Oh yes, Pastor Charles Jackson Sr. And so it is incredible. And yours truly is an alum of Benedict College. Proud alum.
That's right.
My
that's
Lord.
right.
So listen, we're so excited again. Thank you so much for your information that you have shared. I know that it's going to be a great benefit to the people and the individuals in our community.
Thank you.
Yes, there's so much more to come after this on John Lakin and Friends. Welcome back to John Lakin and Friends. We are so proud to be able to bring ministry to your home or to your computer or your cell phone in a different manner. Listen, 2 years we've been doing this right here on Watch Fox 57 as well as YouTube, and we want to thank you for your loyal support. We appreciate you. I want to send love to Miss Susan Stokes McCord and Brother James McCord, my family. I love you all. I also want to send love to Dot Price, my neighbor, Mr. Sam Jones and Miss Virginia Washington, and everybody else down in the country. I want you to know we love you so much. Those of you that are surviving the struggle, remember that God will get in it with you. Have an incredible Sunday.